I now want to introduce one of my favorite people who perhaps more than anyone is the public face of SIPA, our own Claire Shipman, who's a member of the class of 1994, a journalist, author, and the co-chair of Columbia's Board of Trustees. And she will introduce David Greenwald, her fellow Board of Trustees co-chair. Thank you, Claire, for everything you're supporting.
Thank you, Karen, and Secretary Clinton, Dame Ardern. What an incredible conversation. I mean, human leadership, crisis leadership is leadership. Two world leaders talking about morning sickness. I've literally never experienced anything like that. And I think that conversation is why, as Secretary Clinton said, a focus on women is an essential centerpiece of the IGP. I mean, I think we saw that today. And then before that, those incredible insights from all of our diplomats about what women bring. Compassion, which isn't in fact soft, but strategic, smart strategy, an ability to listen, to bring consensus. I have so many notes here. Work ethic. And then I also want that bag with sneakers and a rope. I think I'm just gonna keep it at home, just metaphorically. I think everything for me that we heard today demonstrates so clearly the power of this IGP vision, from economic stability and inequality, and our thoughts from our own new president, Manoush Shafiq, who's worn so many hats in the world, right, both as a policymaker and a scholar, to this deep dive on artificial intelligence led by a determined Nobel laureate who is most decidedly not focused on theory, but on action. And I think woven throughout so many of the sessions is the foundational need for healthy, respectful discourse, that common sense discussion between two governors that we saw where they agreed really on a lot of things. Jonathan and Victor, a tale of a friendship that transcends politics. Humor demonstrates how we can all speak with people with whom we occasionally disagree. I just want to thank everybody in this room for coming, doing what you're doing to support the IGP, because listening, civility, modeling all of those skills that undergird this vision, helping our students learn them, to reach first for compromise instead of hardened rhetoric. It's the only way to find lasting solutions to these pressing problems we're all facing. So many of our trustees here are engaged in this effort. I want to thank all of you who've been part of the founding of the IGP, but all of us on the board, I want everybody to know, are so committed to this vision. And in fact, the broader vision of a university that wants to engage with the world, because we really believe that the strength of today's top universities will be measured not only by our ability to pursue academic excellence and knowledge freely and graduate exceptional leaders, of course, but also to be able to engage and to be part of the solution. And that is essential for all of us. Keren, Hillary, what a duo. I've known one of you for decades. I spent really a few decades covering Hillary Clinton, following her around the world as she dug into issues of women and girls and then matters of state. Keren, I've known only for a few years, but we connected instantly, and these two are cut from the same cloth, if that is not apparent. They're serious, brilliant women, curious, optimistic. Like the IGP, they're fluent in theory, but they are committed to getting things done. And that sensibility, I think, in many ways has always, in fact, defined SIPA. It's always been a place grounded in what is real in the struggle. Maybe it's being in New York, because we really can't be too ivory tower here. It's never worked very well. I remember as a student at the Harriman Institute back in the day, learning from academic powerhouses like Marshall Shulman and Robert Legvold, and then at the same time having this bit of practical knowledge with the creative projects like Jonathan Sanders monitoring Soviet television, and we all watched together as the Soviet Union started to crumble. And that's how I was armed, actually, to set out and cover the Soviet Union and collapse, and then the White House. It's that combination of academic and practical knowledge, I think, that is so essential. It's always been our instinct, but the IGP is doing that boldly and overtly now, and will allow us, I think with this very concrete commitment to create a virtuous circle of ideas. I was struck by what Secretary Clinton said when she was serving in so many different capacities, that she longed for this kind of access to the information that a place like this would have provided. And this is a place where theory can be shaped both by academics and practitioners, and then that will go back out into the world, and so on and so forth. It's obviously, you can tell I'm excited. This institute is going to be a beacon, I am sure, for the greatest policymakers and thinkers, and with these two, I have no doubt it will be best in class. Underestimate the exponential power of both of these women at your peril. I have always been proud of my SIPA degree, but never more so than today. I want to thank you all for taking part in this incredible day, this incredible launch, and I want to ask my friend and trustee co-chair, David Greenwald, a proud law school graduate, to offer a few words. David?
Okay, thank you, Claire. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be brief because I think my comments, I'm closing from Keren, is the only thing that stands in the way of the reception. As a co-chair of the Board of Trustees of Columbia, it's my privilege to be able to congratulate Dean Yarhi-Milo, Secretary Clinton, and everyone involved in the Institute of Global Politics. What a spectacular launch you've accomplished today. In your insightful and far-reaching conversations, you have eloquently and powerfully announced the Institute to the world. The IGP is now officially on the map. SIPA has long been a leading international affairs school. IGP will surely enhance its stature as a leader in the field. What's more, far beyond its campus, IGP will help to bridge the dialogue across the aisle of our politically polarized world, something we critically need today. And I don't need to tell all of you that more than ever, we need robust dialogue. We've gotten to the point where the parties treat those on the other side of the aisle as enemies, instead of Americans who just happen to have different points of view. By the way, Kevin McCarthy was removed from office already. Today, we've witnessed the birth of a new model for civil discourse about policy and other differences. The conversation with Jonathan Levine and Victor Mendelson and the one with Governors Hochul and Hogan were great examples of that. What better place for this new forum than Columbia University in the city of New York? As President Shafiq has observed, Columbia is the most outward-looking and global of the Ivies. At a time when universities have a critical role to play in addressing social or societal problems, Columbia is positioned to be a tremendous force for positive change in the United States and around the world. We are enormously excited and proud to have Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton at the helm of the Institute. As I read in the New York Times, students in your first class last month were so understandably starstruck, the lecture hall resembled a rock concert. I will admit to being somewhat starstruck myself. Welcome back to school, Professor Clinton. It's been a while since your last teaching position. I'll leave out the decades. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Columbia University, I extend our congratulations and best wishes to the entire faculty and staff of SIPA. We have very much noticed the momentum, energy, and excitement coming out of a relaunched SIPA in the last year, and we recognize how important the school is to Columbia. You can count on our robust support and enthusiasm. Now to close this inspiring day, I turn it back over to Dean Yarhi-Milo.
Okay, wow. What a day. I knew this is going to be an exciting day, but this exceeded all my expectations even for this launch, and thank you so much. It is one thing to imagine something like this institute. It's another thing entirely to see it become a reality. And if you enjoy today's programming, know this, we are just getting started. And as we look ahead to the rest of the semester, to the upcoming 2024 elections, to global events we have yet to even anticipate, we hope IGP will be your home for credible, sophisticated, and engaging conversation and analysis. We don't want you to miss out on any of it, so please do go to our website, sign up for events, and stay in touch. Let me close by saying IGP is a product of this school, this university, and this city. It exists because of the contributions of people in this room and far beyond. And especially to make today's event a reality, there are a few people I really want to thank from our team who worked so incredibly hard to make this event happen. Rachel Zala, Susan Lee, Alex Sanford, Lionel Beener, Laura Hoffman, Katie Benvenuto, and IGP Executive Director Christina Shelby. Thank you. And Secretary Clinton Hillary, what an honor again, and we are prepping for a class tomorrow, later today. So thank you, everyone. There is a lot that, again, we want to do. But for now, let's roll the credits for today's thank you. Thank you, everybody.